But anyways, y'all, this has been another great episode of Serious Sarcasm Podcast. But before I end off and leave you guys, I did want to give kind of a moment of silence and a sign off to some people that we've lost over the past couple of weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give, sorry, give me 1 second. Let me just pull this up because there's something I actually want to say specifically. And it's something I actually wrote out. So give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here I am. So I wanted to give a rest in peace and a sincere rest in peace to 6 people today. Those 6 people are none other than the late great Mr. Fatman Scoop, Crooklyn Clan. Of course, you know Fatman Scoop. As you guys know, Fatman Scoop was a DJ, hype man, rapper, a pillar in the hip hop community, and I want to give him a rest in peace and a final send off. Fatman Scoop passed away after he collapsed on stage last week. And the reason I want to give him a shout out is because he went out doing what he loved doing. Like, I grew up listening to Fatman Scoop on Hot 97. I grew up listening to him on the radio. So for him to pass away, it kind of hurt me. Like it really got me. You know what I'm saying? And then the next person I want to shout out is somebody that we just lost less than 24 hours ago, and that's none other than Mr. Rich Homie Quan. Yo, if you were in high school from 2010 to maybe, I'm not saying you've been in high school for 6 years, but if you were in high school from 2010 to 2016 or in college in that same time frame, or from high school going into college, you guys know how big Rich Homie Quan was to us. Especially here, I went to high school and college here in Florida in the South. Yo, Rich Homie Quan was that man, bro. So to lose him, and it just sucks because I remember seeing an interview of his recently with Matt Hoffa where he was talking about his addictions and how low he sank at one point to where he was now, and how he is with his girl and his family. You know, he has a young child, and his girl is actually pregnant now. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I could understand if you guys want to correct me, but I do want to give him a final send off as well. The last person I want to give a final send off is to the 4 victims of the shooting at Apalachee High School in Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in America. Hold on, let me say this first. What I'm about to say next is not a political stance. It's a common, basic human decency stance. This shit has to stop with the shootings, bro. It's I can't explain it. When I see these victims' faces, there's a football coach who's also a math teacher, a woman who's a math teacher who got killed, a young boy who got killed, well, 2 young boys who got killed. I think 14 and 15 were both their ages, if I'm not mistaken. And one of those boys was actually an autistic kid. Seeing these 4 victims' faces, and if you look at these pictures, like all 4 of them got smiles on their faces.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at the picture, all 4 of them got smiles on their faces, bro. Like, so for Miss Christina Ermi, if I'm not pronouncing her name correctly, who was teaching math, I want to say rest in peace to you. To the Coach A, I can't pronounce his name for the life of me. I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't want to butcher it. So to Coach A, rest in peace. I think I'm going to try to pronounce his name. Rest in peace though. To Coach Richard Aspinwall, I think that's pronounced that right. To Coach Richard Aspinwall, rest in peace. To the 14-year-old Mason Shermanhorn, I believe how you say his last name. Rest in peace. He was also on the spectrum as well. As a dad of a kid who's on the spectrum, that hurts me probably super crazy right now. And last but not least, man, to Christian Angolo. To Christian, man, rest in peace to you as well, young man. Rest in peace to all 4 victims. This shit has to stop. I'm sick of hearing, you know, this gun violence is about mental health. I could care less about that shit at this point. There's no reason why 14-year-old kids, 13-year-old kids, 12-year-old kids in general, children should not have to be afraid to go to school, bro. There's no reason why an airport should have more security than a school.
Right?
I take that back. There's no reason why a school should have the same level of security as an airport. Because schools are afraid of kids getting shot. There's no reason why these kids should be going to school with clear book bags now because we're afraid that one kid may have a gun inside of it or a gun on their person. I went to school in New York City where I had to walk through a metal detector every single fucking day. And I didn't think it was right then. I still don't think this shit is right here. And that's me living in the inner city in Brooklyn, New York, Crown Heights, where I had to walk through a metal detector every single day to go to school. So to see kids go through this shit in some of these well-off and affluent neighborhoods, this is not an inner city issue. Please don't bring up places like Chicago to me. Please don't bring up places like Memphis, New Orleans, Houston. Don't bring up these places no more because it's not happening in these places. I have yet to hear a school shooting happen in a Brooklyn school recently, a school in Chicago, a school in Atlanta. Well, I mean, this is Georgia. It's not too far from Atlanta. But some of these other inner cities that people always like to reference when it comes to black on black crime or black on Hispanic crime or Hispanic on black crime or Hispanic crime. Like, I don't hear that when it comes to these schools. You hear about the fights. You hear about the discipline that some of these kids in inner cities have to go through. You hear about some of the resources these schools don't have. So some of these kids act out because they're not learning or they're not getting the proper education that they so rightly deserve from our public school system. But scratch all that to the side. Even if a kid is being misbehaved, he doesn't have to be afraid of getting shot by his classmate, bro. I don't understand why. I just don't understand this anymore, bro. I haven't understood this since Sandy Hook. And Sandy Hook was what, 12 years ago now?
Yeah. Yep.
Like those kids from Sandy Hook, I think would have graduated high school by now, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they'll be in college.
They'll be in college right now. That's how long this has been going on. And even before that, like, I was born in 1993. Columbine happened in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken, right?
99.
Columbine happened in 99. Put that in perspective to y'all. A lot of people who's watching this podcast, y'all 25, 26, that's around the time, you were born around the time Columbine happened. I'm just going to put that in perspective for you. And this shit is still going on to this day. There's no reason why there's more school shootings in America than any place in the world combined. Year in, year out. And people always want to cite the Second Amendment. I could care less what your political stance is when it comes to red, blue, or green. I could care less. This is about protecting children, the most innocent people we have on earth. I don't know what else to say, Phil. This shit frustrates me, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it genuinely frustrates me, bro.
Yeah.
But anyways, man, to those people I just mentioned, those 6 souls that we did lose, man, I do want to say rest in peace to you guys, give you guys a final send-off. This has been another episode of Serious Sarcasm Podcast, y'all.